Hi, we're going to be talking about the Savage book, edition 10, 6.2 tools for IO stream. So the tools that we're going to be talking about is 6.2. Some of them you already know about it from before because you use it for formatting your number. And it is basically applying to the stream in a set of cout that we were doing. So we need to format stuff in our program display. So we were doing it for display, that would be the screen. Now we're going to do it for the file. But then we're going to add to it. So before, all we practiced was to do for the numbers. Remember, we had set F for fixed and then show point, and then we had to do precision to format our number. But now we're going to add some more stuff. What about if we want to have to space between items? How about if we want to show them in columns? So we would separate our data into the columns. Decimal point, just like we were doing before, and scientific notation versus fixed. C++ default is scientific notation, so it will automatically display as a scientific notation for the numbers. And the precision, how many digits do we want after the decimal point? Showing the plus sign. So when the number is positive, we might want to show the plus sign or not. And we have left justify and right justify. So keep in mind that the numbers automatically are right justify and the strings are automatically left justify. But we can change it if we want. Okay, so from this point on, we are thinking about one line, or we're talking about the columns that we are going to put it in the output file. So you are familiar with, let me put this one here. So you are familiar with fixed, show point, and precision. We talked about this in previous chapters. So we were doing it with the cout. All we have to do right now is we're going to put it in our out stream or output stream. So remember, we're going to create the output stream. It doesn't have to be called output stream. We can call it anything we want. But then we're going to have, remember about the objects and classes. So when we create out the stream from OF class, then all the functions are going to come to it. And these are part of those functions. And we're going to be using dot operator to access member functions. So we don't have to worry about it. It's there. We're just going to use it. So it is pretty almost exactly the same thing. I mean, it is exactly the same thing, but we're going to be using our auto stream in a set of cout that we were using before. So fixed, show point, and precision. Fixed is going to change it from scientific to fixed notation. That means we're not going to show it in the scientific notation. Show point, even if it doesn't have a decimal point, it will show the .0. And precision is going to tell us how many digits do we want after the decimal point. So we talked about this already. So we're going to be looking at some of these effect of these, some examples. So you can see that in here, we have 6.9 e to -1. That is scientific notation. So that's basically 0.69. So when we just change the precision to 2, and we want to show 2 decimal point, it's automatically going to change it to fixed because that's the decimal point. It wants to show the decimal point. But if I have a number like this, 0.00069, and we want to show 2 decimal point, it's going to change it to scientific notation because that's, first of all, it's default. Second of all, it wants to show it with 2 decimal points. So that's why it's going to change it to this format. Remember here, we don't have fixed or show point. We're just doing the precision. So that's the effect of precision. So if I have 2.2, it's going to show 2.21. If I have 2.2 e to the 7, that means 10 to the power of 7, it's going to put 2 decimal point for it. And if it's 23 by itself, it's going to show 23.56. So that's for the effect of the precision. So one of the things about the set F and precision is when you set those, it's going to start from the point that you're setting it throughout the rest of it. So whatever comes after it, this effect is going to be on it. We're going to talk about how we're going to unset it. But the set F and precision is going to be set. And from that point on, everything comes up is going to have that effect, except you want to change it. So right now here we put precision 2. So everything from that point on is precision 2. And of course, you can go somewhere else and put other stream dot precision 3. And from that point on, it's going to be 3 and so on and so forth. You can change it. But the key is when you're setting one of these things, it's going to be done for the rest of it. So we talked about the fixed before. That's going to change your scientific number to fixed normal numbers that you're using. The way we are using it, we're using the colon. That means this iOS is also a namespace, just like STD. So after calling this, the number is going to be fixed notation, so it doesn't have E anymore. So a 6.9 E to the -1 becomes 0.69. So that's what the fixed is. Again, when you do this, it's going to be for the rest of the, from that point on, and also it is calls to set F applies only to the stream named in the call. That means when we can potentially have different output files. So you can have 2, 3, 4 output files. You can have one for the data, one for the human look. So if you are sending a file to your manager or to boss or some people, then you want to format it in a way that has some heading, it has some titles and those kind of things. But if it's for computer to pick it up, then your data is going to be just the data. You don't put any heading or any wording explanation anywhere. So you can potentially have more than one. So I can have out a stream and I can have out the stream 2 or out or some other names with the stream on it, or just I can have out display or something else. Your book is using a stream to kind of get you used to that this is a stream. And then when you're doing a set F, remember we are using a dot operator. That means whatever is happening, it's only going to happen to this stream. It doesn't have to happen to the other ones or anywhere else. It's just going to happen to that one. If you have a mixture of cout and auto stream, it is going to happen only to auto stream. The other one is a show point. So when we did the greater point, the grade book, the average at the end was not showing any decimal. The reason it was not showing decimal point, if you have a 0, it wouldn't show it. So if I put show point, it's going to show the decimal point even if it doesn't have any point. So 5 becomes 5.0. So it's going to show it no matter what. So let's go look at this display 6.5. These are some of the ones that are available for now. I mean, it's more than this, but we're just going to focus on this thing. That's the display 6.5. You can review that by yourself. So we have fixed, scientific, show point, show pause. That's going to show the positive sign. We can make it right or left justify. So automatically the numbers are right justify, the strings are left justify, but we can change it by using the set F iOS right or left. And remember, we can change them again, or we can cancel them. So we're going to look at those things too. So that's going to conclude this section, trying to keep them small. I want you to go over these questions and put it on pause, think about these questions, go back and review it, make some notes. Let's talk about it in class or in a quiz. So just go over these things and bring your questions to the DQ or the class, and we can talk about it.